Hello guys, Ashley here, also with the HB fan back with another video. I originally wanted to save my Stuck with Teenager season 3 review for next Saturday, but I decided since I'm not getting my hair done, I'm just do it. Listen, a lot of people are bailing on me to get my hair done. My auntie out of town, my friend who was pregnant, she's pregnant, so of course she's not gonna play doing it. And I don't have anybody doing my hair for July, and I'm trying to find someone to do it. Because it's 4th of July, goddammit. That's when you want to get cute and go outside and party and have fun. And I can't go outside looking raggedy. But I want to say, when it comes to Stuck with Teenager, is that I had a wonderful time watching this show back. I personally think it is one of the most overhated teen drama shows ever. There are worse shows than this. It is extremely hot. So that's one reason why I haven't really been on YouTube making rants, because it's like extremely hot, you guys, like really hot. It's really hot to function. But I decided that I just want to make you guys some videos. Like I really owe it to you guys. Like I have to get this done. That way I can do seasons 4 and 5, and that would just be a collab video, seasons 4 and 5, and that way I can get to my single rant about the show, and we can just go back to One Tree Hill, and then we get straight back to the Vampire Diaries. But before I get into my thoughts on season 3, let's talk about wrestling. And let's talk about the hypocrisy when it comes to John Cena promo that everyone is jizzing over and glazing over. You know, because everyone hates CM Punk. If you don't know, I am a huge CM Punk fan. And I can understand some of the frustration that people have, some of the hate. I really think to use the word hate is really absurd a little bit, because you don't personally know him. I know people think because some of the things that he said, some of the things he's done, they think they know him, but they don't. I personally never met him. Like I said, I don't know him either. But I do love CM Punk. I do love him. I really do. Like I said, I've made videos about him in the past. I do love him. But let's look at this John Cena promo and how very hypocritical it was. First of all, the promo was not good. Everybody's just jizzing and saying, "Oh my God, it's the best promo of the year." When honestly, no. John Cena's good work has not been fucking good. It's been awful. It's been downright terrible. And this promo just shows the desperation that Triple H is trying to give John Cena to be a better heel. Now, I'm pretty sure that CM Punk and John Cena went over these things, and they're going to talk about that he already knew John Cena was going to say these things. But the problem I have with the promo is that these are things that people have already said. It's like the Triple H know how to get people to write promos away from dirt sheets. Away from dirt sheets, the things are already said. So let's go down to things some of the things John Cena said. He talked about CM Punk as a hypocrite because CM Punk decides to change his moralities and his morals on things that he won't do and do. Let me ask y'all a question. Are you a human being? Do human beings make mistakes? Do human beings kind of self-destruct? Yes. 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 Have you ever been a person who said that you'll never do something and then you change your mind? Okay then. I'm pretty sure we're all human here, and I'm pretty sure CM Punk is not the first person to go on shoot interviews to say anything against the company. China has done this. Brett has done this. Jim Cornette, for God's sake. Hardly 99% of people in that company have went on shoot interviews and talked about the company in a harshful way. CM Punk is not the first, and he will not be the last person to do this. So it's wrong for CM Punk to do a shoot interview, but it's okay for Becky Lynch and Charlotte to admit in interviews, and countless interviews, precisely Becky, who said that she don't like Charlotte, and reasons why she don't like Charlotte, and reasons why she don't like Ronda Rousey. But yet, CM Punk is an awful person for explaining why he don't like Triple H and all that and such. Hypocritical by fans. The fact that people would easily just eat what people shit out about CM Punk just shows how obsessed and pathetic you are when it comes to this. The fact that you care so much about what a grown man is doing, and the decisions that he is making, shows the obsession that people have. It's not even a word, but honestly, it really has come to that point of being obsessed. Kind of like the Bella Twins page. It's just getting kind of obsessive. Like, me personally, I'm not the biggest Bella Twins fan. I've never have. I never will be. I honestly look at their WWE careers as all black and white. Me personally, I feel like if it wasn't for Total Divas, they never would have gotten to the mainstream. They never would have came up to WWE if it wasn't for Total Divas. No matter what they say, that is 100% true. They came back to WWE because of Total Divas, not for anything else. Them two, are those two terrible people for taking a money payout for not wanting to come back to make friends or anything like that? They came back to get into the mainstream and to push women into the mainstream. Because not many women in WWE have done that. Actually, but that's not true. Other women was already doing that. I don't know why they really too much those two were the first to do it. No. Other women were already doing that. Chyna, Sable, Tori Wilson, Trish Stratus, for God's sake, Lisa. These women were already guest starring and doing things during the mention. They were at Playboy, for God's sake. Playboy. The Playboy Mansion? Come on. Women were already doing it before the Bella Twins came in there. But they're impactful because of the mainstream. Me personally, I feel like the whole, and I didn't mean to get off base here, but I'm trying to also talk about why the hate is just getting ridiculous. For anyone to think that they have any real huge impactfulness when it comes to the WWE company side of it, I think to me that's why I just feel like it's all black and white. Because their careers have not been that good. Once you look at it, once you watch it from the neck down, it hasn't been that good. It really hasn't been. But me, I'm not going to make a video talk about, she's only back here to raise money for her, to get money for her child. First of all, bringing anyone's family into any situation about money, any of that, is no one's fucking business. So keep Nikki Bella's child out your name. That shit is really getting underneath my skin. I don't have children, but just talking about, because she's only back here to get money for her child because she's broke, because she's in that divorce settlement. That's no one's business. Even if it is all over the mainstream, it's no one's business why she's back here. She hasn't been on TV since Liv Morgan cracked her. So it's like, that's where I already feel inconsistent. And now Liv's injured. So now it feels like, what was the point of her coming back here? Like, see? Y'all got what y'all want. Y'all don't want to see Nikki Bella, right? So now Liv is injured, and y'all won't have to see Nikki Bella unless she plays something else for her. I don't mind Nikki. I don't care for her. Like, I just say it like that. I don't care for her and Brie. I usually don't care about the things they ever do, really. So that's just where I'm saying. I don't hate them. I'm not going to... I expressed my opinions about them in the past, about how I feel about them. Yes, I have. But, come on now. They were not that good when it came to character work. They didn't have revolutionary rivalries or any real iconic moments in their careers. Nikki Bella's title reign is looked at as black and white. That title reign was awful. Honestly, it is one of the worst women's title reigns probably ever. Like, if you were to do a top 10 worst women's title reigns, that would definitely be on a top 10. Her reign was really bad. But yeah, that's how some of those reigns. I think their careers is black and white. But I do respect them going into the mainstream and doing their own thing, doing their own businesses, the wine businesses. I respect that. I really do. But back to the CM Punk stuff. I just like John Cena to probably see if I can hypocrite just because CM Punk decides that he's never come back to wrestling. Isn't that the same thing Bret Hart said? That Bret Hart said he's never come back to wrestling. Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, these guys have never come back to wrestling, and then they did. So, are they horrible people for taking the payout? Or does that only apply to CM Punk? Kind of like when he told that promise. Does that only apply to people that you don't like? Didn't Stone Cold leave and Stone Cold didn't come back in 2003 to be a general manager? So is Stone Cold a terrible person for saying that he's basically done? I didn't think so. But because people hate CM Punk, people are gonna say that, or people are gonna juice it up or suck it up. I should say like they're gonna suck it up. The whole TK, I don't know the business side of shit, so I'm not even gonna address that. I don't care for the business side of anything that goes on. It ain't my money, it ain't my company, so I don't care about that. But Johnson is saying that CM Punk is an opportunist, that he stepped on other people's necks, or he sabotaged other people's careers to get himself over. I really hope people are not sucking that up, because that is beyond the truth. CM Punk has been surrounded by a whole bunch of top guys, and his career didn't go anywhere really until he cut that pipe bomb. Like I said before, he was already over before the pipe bomb, but WWE's gonna try to make it seem like that he wasn't. He was. When he was at ECW, he was over. When he came to the main roster, he was over. When he was in the Shane Society, he was over. He always had great character work. It was just always overlooked. Honestly, to me, it was just always overlooked. He feuded with Jeff Hardy. He feuded with guys like Jeff Hardy, Batista, JBL, John Cena, Randy Orton, way before he cut the pipe bomb. If he was that big of an opportunist, don't you think he would have been a big star way before the pipe bomb? You see, it's shit like that people don't think about. That if he was that big of an opportunist and he kept people down, he was already feuding with big stars already. Don't you think he would have been a huge star? For him to say guys like Dolph Ziggler, we all know that Dolph Ziggler, CM Punk did not nowhere near bury Dolph Ziggler. The company buried Dolph Ziggler, if we're going to be honest. Dolph Ziggler is a guy to me that had everything. He had the character work, he had the in-ring work, he was able to work as a babyface or a heel, and yet the company just didn't do anything with Dolph Ziggler. He was there for so long, and they did nothing with him that it just came to the point of, I don't care for him anymore. I'm not saying Dolph Ziggler is one of my favorites, but I definitely saw the potential in him, and it's such the company didn't do anything with that potential. Zack Ryder was a jobber his whole career. Now, I do understand that he did get over on his own with the YouTube shit, which I can respect. But if we're going to be honest, let's be honest here. I am a huge John Cena fan. A huge John Cena fan. But we're going to be honest, the reason why the reason why Zack Ryder's run got pushed and was tossed to the side was because they added John Cena into that feud with Kane and Eastors for absolutely no reason. And after that, Zack Ryder just became like a huge jobber, honestly. So I guess you can say on some extent it's kind of John Cena's fault, but for him to say that he did with Zack Ryder, what beef does he have with Zack Ryder? CM Punk was one of the guys who pushed for Zack Ryder to have a push. He saw the potential in him. He thought that he was charismatic, and it's like, let's do something with it. Even if he does become a top guy, like, if you can put like mid-card, do something with him. Him and Cesaro, I heard that they were supposed to have a match tonight that he left the company. Who cares about that? And the stuff for him and Colt Cabana, I want everyone to understand this. Colt Cabana and CM Punk go back a long time. Back to Ring of Honor and the independent wrestling crowd. Colt Cabana lied to people saying that CM Punk got him fired. And he basically lied to CM Punk. He lied on CM Punk, sorry, I should say. He lied on CM Punk and said that some of the reason why he got fired, even though they weren't doing anything with him, this old fucker, the whole time that CM Punk came before CM Punk got there and when he got there. He got no TV time. So CM Punk had his ass too. If you make false accusations like that, saying that I had you fired, you're damn right I'm going to sue your ass. So if anything, CM Punk did what he had to do, and I don't blame him for it. Don't ever say I'm the reason why you ever got fired, bitch. You got your own self fired. Period. But they were doing nothing with you and they released your ass. And the whole stuff in AEW with Jack Perry, well, he kind of already explained all of that in his interview with Ariel Helwani. And it was honestly a great interview, and it told everybody the truth on what really happened that day, because everybody wants to think CM Punk was always the problem when he wasn't. Yeah, he might have been older, but still, you gonna let somebody put their hands on you Are you gonna let somebody just sit there and threaten you? I don't think so. So why is it so terrible for CM Punk to defend himself? But if that would have been anybody else, y'all wouldn't have not had a problem with it. I'm so fucking tired of the CM Punk hate. It's any kind of sport at this point. Like, you can say he's overrated and da-da-da-da-da. I don't care about that. That's your opinion. That's your prerogative. But to care about what this man is doing in his life day in and day out just shows how obsessed you are. Do you keep a shrine of him in your house and do you masturbate to it? Because at this point, I'm starting to think that y'all do. Shit, I got stuff on my wall. Yeah, I have shrines. I love the man. It doesn't come from a place of hate. I'm talking about y'all. Y'all turning into the Crush. The Crush with Alicia Silverstone in it. Shrines everywhere. CM Punk just praying on his demise. And when he turned heel, I really want people to understand that. Well, he probably never gonna turn heel. I probably shouldn't say that because at this point, it really starting to feel like everyone is turning into heels. Like, where the fuck are they for Statue of Liberty? But that's just how I feel with the promo. Honestly, is that I really just felt like, first of all, John Cena basically Triple H trying to. I understand that probably CM Punk, John Cena, and Triple H all agree to this, but I hear a lot of people say that John Cena basically like made a joke, a mockery out of the pipe bomb and things like that, and to me, I just feel like it wasn't John Cena's pipe bomb wasn't even as iconic. It won't be, and for everyone to jizz over this, it just shows that y'all willing to just eat whatever shit. That was shit, and y'all eating it. It won't be iconic. John Cena talk about he's a microphone 5 minutes of doom. Are you serious? Are you serious? Him whipping into the microphone and him talking about breaking the fourth wall. It was just really cringy. Like, it was really cringe. First of all, CM Punk is an incredible mic worker. I'm not gonna let anyone, not even John Cena of all people, say that he isn't. Because he is. He knows how to make things work and make things convincing on the microphone. Which is something that a lot of people on the main roster lack today. So that I didn't really appreciate. I know it's promo work and they probably all agree to it, but when it comes to the point of insulting a fan's intelligence, that's what pisses me off. Like, don't insult my intelligence. It's segments like this that make me really hate. Or not really hate, it's reasons why I don't watch wrestling. Because it's no creativity. Everything is just like, let's rehash something and da-da-da-da-da. Like, I didn't mind them rehashing this. And I should have seen this coming when they had to fight R-Truth and probably going to rehash the pipe bomb thing. It just shows that Triple H lacks creativity, that he couldn't come up with anything else interesting to do. I never thought I'd be saying this, but I'm really not feeling this John Cena and CM Punk deal. It's been kind of lackluster, and I'm really hoping that CM Punk has a great bomb to drop next Monday, because it will be a good promo. Hopefully he'll be a little ruthless, because I guess what it takes to get personal to get people to shut the fuck up. So hopefully he'll get a little personal. There's honestly so much talk about when it comes to wrestling that it's the reason why I don't talk about wrestling. Because there's so much to talk about. There's so much shit to talk about when it comes to TikTok and things like that. Like the Jay Cooper title reign, people are just so upset about it, which I saw coming from a mile away. The whole, I saw this girl talking about Charlotte, saying that why Charlotte gets so much hate for being a nepotism hire when her contributes to wrestling has been bigger than the Usos and Cody Rhodes and guys like that. First of all, I don't even hate Cody Rhodes. I just don't care for him. I don't care for Cody Rhodes. I love the Usos, but to say that Charlotte has more contributes to wrestling than the Usos, people who have two guys who have worked their asses off for years to gain respect. And when they first came here, they didn't even have a gimmick. They were just portrayed as two regular guys. She do realize that, right? That they weren't even portrayed as like two guys who had a famous father. They were just treated as two regular guys. Charlotte was put straight up on the main roster, build up as this incredible talent with no personality, no charisma, no aura whatsoever, and this bitch just wins the Divas Championship. Her first year on the main roster, she just wins the championship. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? No, I don't like Charlotte. I don't like Charlotte. I'm sorry, I don't like her. I don't know Ashley, I don't know her, but the Charlotte, the character, I personally just don't like, and I won't lie, I did like Charlotte at first when I was younger, but the more that I go back and watch her time, I realize she's always sucked. Like, she was never good. Her character is very bland and boring, and she's just not interesting. So, the fact that we want to say, oh, she's had title reigns as much as John Cena and Randy Orton, it's like, yeah, and how many of those title reigns were important that she's had? If anything, Randy Orton has had more lengthy title reigns than John Cena. There were a lot of title reigns that John Cena just won it, and he did nothing with the title. No offense to John Cena, I love the man, but I think we all can agree that it's totally true. That there were times when he just won the title and he didn't really do anything with it. He was just dropping it right after. Listen, I don't like Charlotte, and that girl is always jizzing her, and it's just like, dude, okay, she might be good in the ring, but it's like, what else is it to Charlotte? She's not that interesting. She's a terrible promo. She's not a good baby face, and it's like, I'm over it. I'm over Charlotte. I really want her to retire. Her, Becky, I want them to retire and just go away. Go away. I just want to see Liv Morgan. I want to see Liv Morgan on my TV, and now that she's gone, I don't care the women's division. And my girl Alexa Bliss has been relegated to jobber status, and that don't sit well with me because Triple H does not like characters, and I don't understand why. But I already wasted 21 minutes talking about wrestling. I gotta move on. Let's talk about the 2000 Teenager season 3. I just want to talk about that first. Season 3 of 2000 Teenager is easily the best season in the entire show. It is wild, it's crazy, it's so much drama happening. This video might be a two-parter because there's just so much to talk about. I'm gonna do this like I've always done it. Like I said, I remember I originally said that I want to talk about the characters first and do part 2 talk about the storylines. We're gonna do that. But if I put the videos getting long, I'll just end it and we'll do a part 2 tomorrow. But I'm gonna talk about the characters and the storylines, and I'm gonna do a little bit different. I want to get into. Let's get the two teenagers out. Let's get the teenagers out the way that I don't care about before we get this. This really was the Amy, Ricky, Adrian, and Ben season. Without a doubt. People like Jack and Grace, they didn't matter. So let's talk about them first. I will continue to say this about Jack until my face turns blue. Jack does not fit in with these characters. He's never have. He never will. And I don't understand why his character still existed after season 1. Grace literally became a girl who dates everybody. Grace stopped having to storyline. Her only character was dating and being Adrian's friend, and that's how I feel about Grace. Ashley will be included in this and talking about this because there are so many things I want to say about Ashley, and George will be the only parent that I'll be talking about. Unless you guys want to hear me talk about Ruben because he was there. Oh, actually, you know what? No, we're gonna talk about Ruben, and we're gonna talk about George, Ruben, and Leo in this season. Yep, we gotta do it. We got to do it. I'm gonna take George last before I talk about I want to talk about George last, and I'm gonna talk about Leo and Ruben first. But let's talk about teenagers first. Like I said, hopefully I don't talk about everything, because that way I can do it for a two-parter to keep you guys on your toes. But let's get into it. I believe this season had 25 episodes, and y'all, there was not a bad episode in this season. Every episode had a lot of shit going on. A lot of shit. Especially the episode where Adrian basically like called out all the girls that Ricky slept with. Those episodes were so good in season 3. But let's talk about teenagers. Let's start with Amy. I really did like Amy a lot in this season. She matured a lot in this season. And you can definitely see there's a different wit to her personality. She seems more mature. She seems to have more of a voice for herself. She seems to know what she wants. And I'm glad that we finally let go of Amy and Ben because I was really over it. This show has a tendency to let relationships drag. And when I mean drag, I mean drag. They have a tendency to drag relationships out, and I don't get it. I do not understand why Amy and Ben were a couple for so goddamn long. They never had any chemistry, and they were just never interesting as a couple. So, Amy, her big storyline in this season was going to New York to pursue her music. Only to find out that she just felt like music wasn't her dream anymore. She said she kind of felt like she wanted to do something else, so she wanted to focus on being a teacher. Amy really isn't shown a lot in the first half of this season. You see her a little bit here and there, but it wasn't just her having phone conversations. The episode you see her in before she comes back in episode 12 is episode 6. No, not episode. I think it's 7. Episode 7, when Ben went to go tell her that that Adrian is pregnant. 10, when Ricky came to visit her and Ricky finally had their first kiss. And episode 11. Episode 11, when it was her birthday and everybody forgot. Yeah, those episodes we saw Amy mostly in, because that's the same episode that her and Adrian had a conversation. You don't get into it. Let's just get comfortable. Y'all sit back, get your popcorn, pop it, because we're going to talk about it. So, Amy's in New York, and then she comes back home, and her and Ricky are finally trying to work on things. And I know that I said that I wanted to talk about her and Ricky and some of the things I realized watching it back. So let's talk about that, because that's like the biggest thing. That's one of her biggest storylines is figuring things out with Ricky. So let's talk about that first, the whole thing. Amy realizes that her and Ricky have some very unresolved attractiveness towards each other that they both are not addressing. So they kiss in episode 10 in season 3. But her and Ricky kind of spend the whole episode just talking, eating, enjoying each other's company. Ricky asked her if they ever have sex again. She said yes, but she said that he needs to learn how to stop being a womanizer. And he said that he can. She said she knows that he can. And she said it's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to stop doing it. And she said that she wants him to get all of his sexual urges out before she comes back home and put it to work on things. So, in season 3, Ricky barely stepped around, by the way. He slept with one girl before Amy came back. Even though she told him to do this, it was kind of like a test. So then she comes back home, and her and Ricky have a whole conversation about who he slept with. Who did he sleep with? She names Adrian. He said, why would he sleep with Adrian when she's having a baby with Ben? She said Ashley. He said, we know that me and Ashley didn't have sex. He said we only kissed, and he said that's it. So she kind of gave it up. She gave up on asking questions. He told her that he didn't want to tell her, and he told her that he did sleep with somebody, and she said okay. So, and later in that episode, Ricky's sitting on the couch. And tells Ricky that Amy only came down here because she wanted to see who he slept with. And she said you're never going to stop being a womanizer, and sooner or later Amy needs to face that fact that that's just who you are. And he said, yeah, but you're getting back together with your husband, the guy who committed adultery on you. What? Shut the fuck up talking to me. That's what Ricky should have said after that. It's up, I thought. By the way, Ashley was outside the door listening to the conversation. She's such a pick-me. I hate Ashley with a passion. Oh my god. So, her and Ricky have a conversation about everything going on between Ben and Adrian, and she's saying that she really doubts that Ben and Adrian will be a couple once they have the baby. That she really feels like that once they have a kid, it's going to fade over, and they're going to realize that having a baby in high school is not the fairy tale that they think it is. And Ricky told her that if Ben gets to know Adrian, he might just fall in love with her. Amy said she doubts it, and she wasn't wrong, because Ben had doubts about it. He had doubts about getting married. He said he didn't want to get married. He said he didn't want to have a kid. And Ben was kind of pressured into doing a lot of these things. When I go back and watch, it's kind of fucked up that that Adrian's father and Leo pressure Ben into proposing and basically trying to make sure they have like this fairy tale and being a couple in high school. Like, are you serious? But whatever. Then Adrian, oh my god, Ricky tells Amy that if she doing this for some type of experiment, if she trying to get together with him to make Adrian and Ben jealous and trying to make all hell break loose with his decision. She said this is not about them. She said she wants this summer to be about them being a couple and trying to get to know each other a little bit more. And he said he just don't believe in being monogamous, don't believe in going on dates. He said he don't think it's going to make them figure out what they feel for each other. But it does, like you said, it will. That's what people do when they want to get to know each other. They go out, they talk to each other, they spend time together. And she said that she wants to get to know him while they're talking, while they're hanging out, while they're laughing. And she told me that she wants to be a teacher and that she believes in herself. And I like to see that. I like to see Amy confident and just full of so much belief, because honestly it really felt like people were kind of like kicking her while she was down in the first 2 seasons. So I did like to see her more confident. And she told me that she believes that one day she would be a good wife to him. I actually love this scene with them because it was just such a real, raw, emotional scene with them, just kind of like expressing how they felt. And the next day, Ricky tells her that he wants to take her on a date, and he decides he's going to cook dinner for them. So basically in season 3 they're together, they're enjoying each other's time, but Amy starts pressuring Ricky into making a big commitment to her. And this is the same problem he had with Adrian. It's not the same exact problem, but the whole commitment to me. Like, I need you to tell me one day you want to get married to me. And I don't understand whenever Ricky says that he don't think about that stuff. People think he's such a terrible guy. I don't get it. Amy is jealous that Ben and Adrian are getting married, and she feels like that her and Ricky should be getting married. So basically she tells Ricky that she wants a commitment. Ricky tells her that he doesn't think about that stuff right now. He's only in high school, which I don't blame him for saying those things and thinking that. So he asked Amy to move in with him. He said that we'd be a family. He would just move in with me, and he said let's just try to be a family. George and Ashley get on Amy's neck to move in with Ricky. Ashley tells her that why she should be independent for once in your life. Why do you have to be with a guy? And Ashley was just giving off jealous bitch vibes. Like, Ashley was just jealous that Amy wanted to move in with Ricky. I definitely feel like watching it back, her and Ricky were moving a little bit too fast. Like, Amy wanted to have a commitment, Ricky telling her to move in. But the only reason Ricky was telling her to move in was because she was only pressuring him into marriage. I don't respect George for being honest with her about it, but I don't like the way that he tried to use it as a pawn to keep her from moving. Like she said, Ricky is not just a boyfriend, he's John's father, and they are feeling each other. They want to be together, they want to try to be a family, even if they are 17. Like she said, we were too young to have babies, so you can't say we're too young to raise a family. So he tells her not to move in over there, and her and Ricky have a conversation about her not moving in, and she said she doesn't want to move too quickly. Ricky tells her okay. He tells Amy that he loves her, and then we get to episodes where Ricky is kind of like being pushy towards Amy about having sex, and it really made me feel uncomfortable because, like I said before, Ricky would have really weird dialogue about, like, he told Adrian that if you're my girlfriend, you're going to be having sex with me, that if you don't have sex with me, I'm going to go somewhere else. He basically told Amy that she just do it, that get it over with, and that she just have sex. And it's like whenever Amy said no, it was like he just constantly kept pushing it onto her, like he just wasn't hearing her. And she said there'll be nights where you want to have sex and I don't, and he said it won't be like that. It was just kind of weird. It was creepy dialogue, very weird. and he told Amy that he thought their relationship was more than sex. I understand that, Ricky, but you gotta. I understand that your relationships were used to being sexually intimate, and I understand that. I can't change that for you, but I'm not just gonna give you what you want because you're used to it. If you're gonna be with me, you gotta learn how to love me emotionally, whether you like it or not. And if you can't respect that, go somewhere else. All respect, just go somewhere. Go some fucking else. Just go somewhere else for all that. But I digress. I really did love Ricky and Amy's relationship, even if I did have a few like eye-raising moments. Like they did move a little bit too quickly. Him talking about that he wants to have sex, and Amy kept saying no, and he just kept pressuring her. I didn't focus with it. But I did like their first time together when they came back after the whole stuff in the hospital with Adrian and Ben. I personally did like that. So it was beautiful to me. So that's just my thoughts on their relationship. But the individual stuff that did happen with Amy in this season is her finding out that Ben got Adrian pregnant. So basically, Ben tells Amy that he loves her and that he wants to have a relationship. Ricky pretty much gets Ben to talk to Amy, and they work in a relationship. Her and Ben are back together, they're happy, And she goes up to New York, and Ben tells Leo that nothing's going to get in between him and Amy and John being a family, and him and Amy being a couple, and being together until the end. Only for Ben to find out that Adrian lied about the pregnancy, and that Adrian is indeed pregnant, and now he has to tell Amy. Once he tells Amy, Amy breaks up with him. I honestly feel like it was solved because Ben stayed there, stood by her side, that she should have stood by his, and me personally, no. I would always say that Ben was a complete idiot for sticking by a girl who was 15 years old having a kid and trying to play stepdaddy. It was always weird and just hella immature by Ben. He really was just trying to have a hero complex, and it made him look dumb. It made him look too dumb. So I'm not going to blame my girl Amy for not wanting to get involved, because I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Sorry, I'm not. Her and Ben decided to have this final conversation and eating wings, and they decided to play like these little flashbacks of when they first met, and it's like, who the fuck was buying it? Who was buying it? To me, Ricky is her one and only first love, not Ben. Never bought into her and Ben's lack of chemistry. They were boring. Their love story is so surface level and dry. Not buying into it. That's pretty much Amy's storyline, really, in season 3, because her going to New York wasn't really focused much on. So that's pretty much the gist of it. Actually, you know what? No, there's more, but I'm kind of saying. You know what? Those episodes in the hallway when it came to the baby shower, I'm gonna do a whole separate rant on that. Not like a whole separate video. I'm gonna talk about it in this season 3, but I'm gonna save it after I talk about all the characters and storylines. That would be. I'm gonna talk about that, and then I'm gonna talk about the parents after. So back to characters. That's pretty much Amy's entire storyline. So that's that. Not complaining. On to Ricky. Ricky in this season, I really did love Ricky. He's back in therapy, especially since in season 2, we barely saw him in therapy. He's in therapy talking to his therapist about being monogamous, and his therapist telling him what it means to be monogamous, and can he do it, that he needs to challenge himself to be monogamous this time. And Ricky moves back in. Restart. Ricky stays at Amy's parents' house to raise John while she's in New York. And Ricky was the first person to find out that Adrian was indeed pregnant and that she indeed lied. And then after him, it was Ashley. And, God, so much to talk about. Jesus Christ. So, storylines that Ricky had in this season. We're going to talk about him and Ashley first. I've already made a separate video about this already, but I'm going to just get through this quick and fast because I already made a video about this. I think the whole storyline between him and Ashley was hella inappropriate, very weird, and very tramp-like on Ashley's part. She initiated the kiss between her and Ricky, and then tried to make him feel bad for not feeling the same way about her, even though he has a baby by her sister. Y'all let that sink in for a minute. Yeah, Ashley was a pick-me. She honestly just saw Ricky as a project. The bad boy who needs to be evil, because Grace couldn't change him, Adrian couldn't do it, so now she thought it was her duty to do it because the other two bitches couldn't. This pick-me-like shit, and it's just like, girl, get a grip. So, after that, I want to talk about that first, and then they decide to do shit with, he finds out that Adrian is pregnant, and he pretty much tells Ben that Adrian lied about being pregnant, and that Ben needs to get down and crack it on that. Yeah, whatever the success she makes, he needs to be a part of it. If it's abortion, express your opinion, if she goes along with it, hey, I ain't gonna stop you, but I ain't gonna express my opinion no matter what. He expressed appropriate to basically just be there whatever the success she makes. It's of course. It's weird hearing Ricky give that advice, considering that he was pretty much isolated from Amy's entire pregnancy, and he was like, not entirely, but Ricky was really a part of some of the big moments when it came to Amy's pregnancy. And I know I'm right. You know, the more that Ben and Adrian got closer, Ben tried to tell Ricky, you know, how much you hurt Adrian. And, you know, I'm going to get to all that when I get to Ben, because y'all, season 2 made me hate Ben, but season 3 is what I hated Ben even more. Especially him and Adrian. I hated both of them in this season a lot. I really did. I hated them so bad that it was kind of hard to feel bad for what happened to them. That's how much I don't like them. Back to Ricky's storylines though. I'm going to just kind of discombobulate it. But, Ruben decides that Ricky and Adrian need to have a conversation when it's like, it's over with, it's done with. What let's talk about? Her and Ricky kiss, which made absolutely no fucking sense. A kiss that he never told Amy about in season 3. I was kind of waiting for that to come up, but he never told Amy about the kiss that him and Adrian had, which I thought was weird. And then him and Adrian just decided to be friends. They decided to be friends, and let me mind y'all, Adrian was completely obsessed with Ricky in I believe Ben spoke to her in episode 13 or 14 of season 3. She was obsessed with Ricky for those first 11 episodes. And then once the writers hint that her and Ben have sex with each other, which was forced, her and Ben, they both obsessed with Amy and Ricky. Then all of a sudden, her and Ben are into each other. And then look what happened after all that in season 4. Her and Ben are right back obsessed with Amy and Ricky. It's just like they were never over them to begin with. She's helping to know what her and Ricky did, what Amy and Ricky did in New York, and Ricky tells her that it's none of her business, and he's right. It isn't any of her business. Her Ricky tried to manipulate him into thinking that Amy only went down there because that program is telling her that she needs to be with the father of her child, and she don't think that's right. She don't think it's right. She don't think it's needed. She's basically telling him that Amy loves Ben and that her and Ben should be together. And Ricky tells her, what, we should be together? We don't belong together. You can get that little fantasy out of your head. It's never happening. Never, ever. You got it, bitch? It's never happening between us, okay? Alright then. Hop on up out of here. And, like, I really just don't like Adrian and Ben. Like, they're obsessive, they're annoying. They're annoying as fuck. Oh my gosh. So, you know, the whole thing with her and Ricky and Adrian, I got so tired of that too. It just felt like an endless cycle. The fact that it even goes on into season 4 is just so annoying. And I'll get into that when I get to season 4. It's just so painfully annoying. It's so annoying. Oh my god, I can't stand it. You know, and then Amy and Ricky get together, and that's pretty much like Ricky's storyline. So I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting it. Actually, I ain't forgetting something. The whole hallway storyline. Like, so I'm going to talk about all that together. But that's pretty much Ricky's storyline. him trying to learn how to be monogamous and be with one person, the whole stuff between him and Ashley was just completely unnecessary. And then him and Adrian kissing, and then him telling Adrian that she should marry Ben, and that he said he didn't mean it literally, and then Adrian basically telling Ricky that Ben would never cheat on her and she really liked that about him. It's like, I really hate that she tried to make it seem Ricky was just this awful guy to her, that she tried to act like she was so good to him and he was just so bad. And it's like, have you watched the same show? They both lied, cheated, they were both disloyal to each other, they both didn't treat each other good. So for Adrian to act like Ricky was just this terrible guy to her and she was so good to him, it's soft and delusional thinking. And for anyone to think that she was so good to him and he was so bad, y'all out of your fucking mind. That is absolutely fucking not true. It is not. And she basically just tells him that he do think that he can love a girl and he could be loyal to a girl. And she said she just always thought it would be her that he'll be loyal to. And it's like, girl, you're still chasing after that fairy tale. It's never going to happen between you and Ricky. Y'all don't know how to talk to each other. Y'all don't know how to communicate. Y'all don't know how to love each other. None of that. Y'all have never been emotionally connected to each other, ever. The relationship has always been surface level. When is she going to get it? It was like she never understood that how surface level the relationship was. And it's just like, girl, are you dumb? It just proves that she was, it's crazy to me how obsessed she was over Ricky, and then a few episodes later, she's all about Ben. Like, it made literally no sense. So, again, the Ricky storyline again with Amy, which I did love. I love the relationship between him and Amy. I love that it actually, like, challenged Ricky. I love that Amy was, like, challenging to him. Not in a way where it's like, oh, he challenges me. Not in a bad boy way. I mean, in a way since, like, she's not gonna allow him to do the shit that he was continuing doing with bitches like Adrian and his other bitches. I'm not these other bitches. You're not gonna lie to me and run out on me because you don't get your way. If you're gonna be with me, you're gonna learn how to be monogamous. You're going to learn how that you can't always get your way in a relationship. And I think the reason why it worked so well between him and Amy was because she did challenge him. Adrian and Ricky did not challenge each other. It was just the same old foggy dance. When your relationship has gotten toxic to that extent of no return, I don't think both of you can take each other seriously. And that's why Ricky just didn't care about becoming emotionally connected with Adrian. And that's because when our relationship was built on lies, disloyalty, and basically friends and benefit situationship. And now you're telling me you got a whole change of heart. You want a commitment. It's like, girl, you must think I'm before the school. It's not happening. What makes you think that I'm going to give you my all when our relationship has started off with a lie? It's not happening. Too late, too sad, too bad. No but. What they say? No but, no us, no fucking us. I don't know how the term is. But basically, like Adrian, you wanted your cake and you wanted to eat it too. And I hate that she never wanted to admit that. She cheated as much as Ricky cheated. She's lied as much as Ricky lied. She's done so much shit. They both wanted their cakes and they both ate it too while they did it. So for Ben to think that Ricky was just this terrible person and Adrian was almighty, it just shows how much of a simp and delusional Ben is. A girl could tell him anything and he would instantly believe it. Because it's the same thing that happened with Amy, right? He thought Ricky was a bad person for getting Amy, who was 15 years old, innocent girl, pregnant. Same thing, right? Acting like as if Amy wasn't a willing participant in the night they had sex. It just shows that Ben is stupid. He's really dumb. But I really think I'm gonna leave it right here and say the rest for tomorrow because I have other things I need to do. But I just wanted to drop this little video, and I will see y'all tomorrow in part 2.